Hello, this is Steve with S&S Mowing Service. We're reading Ed Myletts' Max Out Your Life. We're on Chapter 3. Let's get it. Chapter 3. Max out your mind. Change your thoughts to change your beliefs. What are your core beliefs? What do you believe to be true about yourself, about your God, about your future? What do you believe about your potential? And the big question, what do you believe you are worth? What you believe about yourself governs everything in your life. Beliefs become a self-fulfilling prophecy. We must be extremely aware of them and guard them at all costs. Our thoughts create our beliefs. And one way to change your thinking is to change the quality of the questions you ask yourself. The average person has 75,000 thoughts every day. And 91% are exactly the same as the day before. It isn't hard to see why so many people stay in the exact spot in life as it relates to relationships, careers, finance, fitness, etc. Read this slowly. Do you ever think about what you think about? Thoughts are like magnets. They draw to you that which you think about regularly. They also create the filter you see the world through. If you want real change, you must first change what you are thinking about. Change just 10% of your thoughts, and you could dramatically change your life. That is powerful, and it's under your control. Changing your environment and associations is key to changing your thoughts because it breaks your routine and comfort level. Your identity must be raised and challenged. More on this in Chapter 4. Your subconscious thoughts are always trying to prove you right. We've all heard the saying that you are what you think about. Here's some insight as to why your mind is so powerful. You have a mental filter that can work with you or against you. Pay close attention to this topic because it is the most important part of my success. There is a bundle of nerves at our brainstem called the reticular activating system, RAS, that acts as a gatekeeper, filtering out irrelevant information and allowing only relevant information to enter our awareness. This little bit of brain matter is responsible for filtering out the massive amounts of information that your body and the world around it is constantly throwing its way. It filters out all the things that would prove our beliefs false, and instead works over time on filtering in all the things that will prove our beliefs true. Your RAS takes what you focus on and creates a filter for it. It then sifts through the data and presents only the pieces that are important to you. All of this happens without you noticing, of course. The RAS programs itself to work in your favor without you actively doing anything. That is powerful, isn't it? When you believe you're going to grow a big successful business or have a great income, the RAS starts working to filter in all the experiences that will prove this to be your reality. Specifically, if you believe people need what you have, the RAS will begin to reveal opportunities that may have always been there, but are now highlighted as a result of your focus. This focus causes them to be relevant to you. Conversely, it will begin filtering out everything that would prove you to be unsuccessful. Have you ever bought a new car and all of a sudden you see that exact car everywhere? Why have you never noticed it before? And why are they suddenly everywhere you look? You thought your blue Honda was unique, but now all you see are blue Hondas. Your RAS will even see them on the other side of the freeway. They've been there all along, but now the RAS is filtering them into your awareness, causing you to notice them, whereas before they were unimportant to you and irrelevant. If you're focused on growing your business by constantly looking for new prospects, you'll suddenly hear a conversation 3 tables away at a restaurant that will instantly grab your attention. Why? Because the topics of that conversation somehow relates to your business, and you instantly recognize how your services could help that individual, turning them into a prospect. Had you not been hyper-focused on recognizing potential clients' needs, you would never have heard that conversation. You hear it now because it matters to you. The RAS has filtered it in. That's your blue Honda. The sad thing is that most people don't know how to control the RAS in a positive way. Their blue Hondas are their problems. All the things going wrong in their life. So, what shows up for them? More problems. More things going wrong in their life. Escape this cycle at all costs by obsessing about what you want and not what you don't want. The RAS only takes in what you have deemed most important by your habitual mental setup. Anything you want in your life requires your total obsession. Remember this, your obsessions become your passions. That's how the RAS begins working in your favor. Understand that the RAS does not attract the things you need. Everything you need has always been there. You just didn't see them because they were not deemed significant at the time. Once you focus on a goal, your obsession and RAS are heightened, and you filter in all the elements that support your goal. You literally begin to see, hear, and feel things that always existed but never noticed before. The RAS is the greatest tool and magnet for success in the world. It is a God-given survival tool that we all possess but rarely utilize. Another example is your own name. If you are in a loud crowd of people and someone yells your name, even if it isn't intended for you, you hear it because your RAS has had a lifetime of focus on it. So the key to making your RAS work for you is to make the things you want as important to you as your own name. If your belief is, I'm going to attract great people into my life, your RAS will start shedding all the people in your life who no longer align with this belief, and it starts filtering in people who do. My mother-in-law is a great example of this. She is an amazing woman of faith, and she's always looking for signs of God showing up in her life. Every time we're together, she points out the evidence. She'll see a guy at the grocery store showing kindness to an elderly woman, and she'll say, "Isn't God wonderful?" She notices good things everywhere. She's going to notice anything good that happens because she's looking for it. The law of the subconscious mind delivers to her what she believes to be true. It's the simplest thing that she notices and recognizes as God's presence in her life. She'll walk outside, and when the wind blows and hits her face, she'll say, "Thank you, Jesus." She sees God in everything all day long, and she's the happiest person I know. Her life is abundant because she's always looking for and noticing her blessings. She's trained her RAS to search for goodness, and that's what is constantly showing up in her life. Many times, those are the very same things that are around you and I, but we don't notice them because our RAS has not been trained to support the same belief. Therefore, it filters them out. Viruses in your mind. Your life becomes what your thoughts and beliefs have been. Are you going to be a scarcity thinker? Always focusing on what you don't have? Or are you going to be an abundance thinker? Always grateful for what you do have? Life is not about overcoming and struggling. That is a flawed mindset. If you think you are constantly struggling or battling through adversity and difficulty, your mind will constantly attract struggles and battles to you. As difficult as it is to accept, you've allowed those struggles into your life because your mindset is flawed. Instead, maintain the mindset of, things are happening for me. My life is winning. It is filled with peace, happiness, and success. Flawed thinking is a virus of your mind. Once there is a virus in a computer, it slows down and becomes sluggish. In a worst-case scenario, it crashes. This is what happens when people get a virus in their mind. They are slowed down in their pursuit of goals. Their mind is sidetracked with noise and clutter. This makes achieving goals nearly impossible. And the mind will shift into survival mode. You only get from life what you will tolerate. If the most important area of your life aren't what you want them to be, you need to stop allowing that to continue. You've got to be the one to change it. Your mindset needs to change. It needs to accept more and expect abundance. I know it's a hard pill to swallow, but the reality is we get what we tolerate. Where you are now in life is the sum of the decisions you've made. The amount of money you earn, your career, your relationships, everything. If you don't hate your circumstances, you learn to tolerate them. Therefore, you make no changes because it doesn't bother you enough. There is a saying that good is the enemy of great. And it is so true. When you open your eyes in the morning, do you feel happiness? Do your feet hit the floor and you feel energized about attacking your day? Or do you hit the snooze a few times? Immediately think about what fires you must put out and reluctantly get up. Do you determine what things you must do today to get you through to tomorrow? This is survival mode. Doing just enough to pay the bills and buy necessities and a few $5 coffees here and there. You stop aspiring for more on the premise that mediocre is somehow acceptable. I'm not saying you should be grateful and humble. Let's read that again. I'm not saying you shouldn't be grateful and humble. Certainly there are people without their own homes to wake up in. For some, coffee isn't even a luxury they have access to. That's not what I'm saying here. I'm talking about ignoring your full capacity and settling for just enough. Getting by is not your purpose on this earth, and you know it. There are so many others in survival mode that it makes you feel like you're on the right path. There's a sense of belonging there. In fact, you'll convince yourself that you're doing okay compared to someone else who is struggling a little more than you are. In reality, though, you know you want more out of life. Maybe you don't care if you have the most expensive car, but you want a nicer home for your family, a better school for your children. Maybe you'd like to help your mom and dad financially so they don't have to keep working so hard. Do you tolerate the education your children are receiving? Do you tolerate watching your mother or grandmother struggle? What are you tolerating right now? What have you been accepting? And is it time for you to recognize the things you hate and change them? Blissful dissatisfaction. This term seems to completely contradict itself. So let me explain. There are two sets of flawed thinking I see so many struggle with. The first is intentionally delaying happiness until specific goals is achieved. I'll be happy when I have this house, this car, this relationship, etc. This delays a person's ability to be happy for a future destination and time. The problem with that thinking is that you still must bring you to that destination. If you have never learned to be happy where you are now, you are likely going to remain unhappy where you go, no matter what you achieve. It is possible to be happy on the journey to your goals. Learning to be happy in your current situation is a prerequisite to a fulfilling life. The other flawed thinking is, if I let myself enjoy this, I'll lose my drive. Many achievers think that if they allow themselves to be happy, it opens the door for potentially slowing down. Maybe even a total loss of ambition. What if they begin to settle for less than their goals? They believe that happiness will cause them to lose their edge. Nothing could be further from the truth. People confuse happiness and satisfaction. They are totally different and independent states. You can be both blissful and dissatisfied simultaneously. In fact, the art of navigating these two states is key to success and fulfillment. Have you ever been really hungry and then bitten into a delicious meal? A meal that tasted so good that you literally feel blissful? When you felt that happen, did the taste of the meal end your hunger? Did you feel like you wanted to stop right there? Or did it make you want even more? You weren't satisfied with just a taste. You were even hungrier for the next bite and wanted to finish it all. This is the same in every endeavor in life. Do not buy into the false belief that you need to delay your happiness until a future destination and time. Do not falsely believe you will lose your hunger if you allow joy, peace, and bliss into your new life, into your life now. The key to a fulfilling life is being happy while still desiring the next level. That is truly how to max out your life. Be blissfully dissatisfied. Overnight success. Sustainable success is not built overnight. Real success is the result of consistent, sustained effort. Both wins and losses create the experience necessary to achieve success. Obstacles and rejections are strong components of the journey. I remember when I started my business, there were days when I lost a potential client. I'd get in the car afterwards and think, how can I do better next time? How do I improve my responses to client questions? How could I have been better prepared? Being rejected is an opportunity to grow and get better, period. Many times, it serves as a redirection for you, a necessary step to get you closer to your goals. In fitness, a muscle must be torn down to grow stronger. This is also true in life. The obstacles and rejections initially are painful, but when you look back on them, you realize they benefited you for the long-term goal. People respect experience, not shortcuts. Stop worrying. Worry is wasted thought, energy, and emotion. It creates a worst-case scenario in your mind of an event that hasn't even happened yet and forces you to live through it. Most of the time, we will never even deal with the outcome we've worried about ourselves sick over. Just stop. Worrying is pointless. There is no positive upside to it. The downside, however, comes with a stiff price. As we've learned, what we think about becomes our reality. So why on earth would we want to create a worst-case reality? Always remember that champions take control of their lives. And they do this by controlling their thoughts and believing that the outcomes they desire will happen. They believe they are worthy of that outcome, and that belief creates their reality. You too can do the same thing. Worry does not take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace. Change what you think about. Back up. Change what you think and believe, and you will transform your life. And lastly, a little about faith. For me personally, my faith is my foundation. My favorite scripture is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ, who strengthens me. Every night I hit my knees and I pray because I've had enough experience in my life where my ego starts to get the advantage. Without a doubt, my hard work built the foundation of my success, but it's God's blessings that have allowed for it. The minute I start to forget that, the Lord has a way of reminding me. God's grace is such a beautiful thing. If I look back at a setback I've had in my life, they are typically the results of A, I stopped doing the things I did to reach success. B, my ego started to take over. And that's when I must recommit to my faith. I'm a big believer in planting the seeds and being consistent in planting those seeds across all areas of life: business, faith, fitness, relationships. And I know that if I keep doing what I need to do, God will take care of the harvest. I have this overriding belief that if I keep doing things other people aren't willing to do, then I'm going to get things other people won't have. Whatever your beliefs are, take time every day to practice them. Get strength, clarity, and grounding from them. Sorry about that. Thank you for joining me for that chapter 3. Come back tomorrow for chapter 4. Hit that like button if you're enjoying this. Once again, thank you. Have a good day.